Welcome back to Benny's Custom Works, proudly supported by Sparesbox. Today we're back on the CRESTA. We're doing all things cooling system upgrades. So we've already got our Hypertune radiator and hard pipes in, along with our RC Fab coolant tank, which is a combination of an overflow and a header tank. So basically all of these things combined, we're going to pick up about 6.5 litres total cooling capacity. So I'm hoping those things, along with having a physically more efficient radiator, will basically make a massive difference to controlling the overheating issues that we've been experiencing. Also, the other thing I have added is a thermostat. So this has never run a thermostat, and for the most part it was pretty reliable, but towards the end there we were starting to see some overheating problems, as you guys would have seen on Drag Challenge.
We filled it up with Coke and then chucked a couple of Mentos in.
That shit takes hair off. But today we're going to plumb it with all of our racework stuff. Then we're going to break it down and send a lot of it off to powder coating. There's a few things that we did previously as well, like the compressor cover and the hot side of the intercooler pipe, which are also going to go off to powder coating. So we're going to do all of that in a nice gloss black to match everything else that's already in the bay. But yeah, today we're basically going to give you guys a good overview of what we've done, as well as do some good old raceworks plumbing. You guys have just been watching me plumb up the Dash 3, Dash 6 and Dash 10 raceworks between all of our cooling system. We're now in the future, and we've got all of our stuff back from powder coating, so I thought I would break down the cooling system and explain exactly how it's working. Obviously we mentioned before in the video that we've now got a header tank as well as an overflow or catch can. Basically the reasoning behind going to a header tank style system is to actually just up that coolant volume. I have tried to mimic the factory forward system. Obviously, it worked fairly well in a Falcon. There's 1,000 horsepower plus Falcons that are running like 80-degree coolant temps on a hot day. So with that in mind, I've tried to go back to the forward setup a little bit more than what we originally had. Obviously, the cooling system that was in this car when we first built it was designed to support 700 horsepower, not 1,200. So with power comes heat. Obviously, you've got to try and get that heat out somewhere, and the more coolant volume you can have, the better you can disperse that. All of our little Dash 3 lines are actually air bleeders, so we've picked the high point on this hard pipe which runs across to our thermostat housing, and we're now teeing that off the high point on the radiator also, which then loops back to the high point on our header tank. So basically that ensures that there's no air in the system, because air pockets are also going to create heat spikes, and they can actually crack cylinder heads if you get air pockets or air locks. So all of those things together hopefully are going to make this cooling system more efficient. We also mentioned that we have added a thermostat that's in our top hose, which runs straight back into the radiator. This is also a dual pass radiator, so both the fittings are actually on the driver's side now. So our coolant comes into the top, runs across the radiator, goes down the side tank, runs back across, and then comes up into the inlet side of the water pump. We've still stuck with the Hypertune hyper clamps. Those things have been flawless previously, so why change something that isn't broken? Also, for reliability's sake on the track, we've got no rubber left in the cooling system at all. So previously we've had things where we've either split bores or lifted heads in old combos. And when we still had rubber hoses, at one point the bottom hose puffed up like a football. And if that thing splits on the track, you can guarantee you're going to get water under your back tyres, which 9 times out of 10 means your drag car is going in the wall. Interestingly, if you do have an incident like that and you've got a parachute, by all means throw that sucker out, because that is going to basically pull the car straight again. I've seen some pretty sideways cars come back with using the chute. Although it is primarily there for slowing the car down in the braking area, it's also a really handy device to actually straighten the car up if you do have an issue. I mean, halfway down the track, I've seen cars throw chutes to try and pull them straight rather than be slapping walls. So bit of an aside, but it is a handy bit of information because not everyone really knows about it. There's a lot of people hesitant to throw the chute because they don't want to pack it. I'd much prefer to pack the chute, well, actually get someone to pack it because I don't know how to do it yet, than have to straighten a car, buy another car, go to hospital, or all of the above. So yeah, as much as it is primarily a braking device, that it can also be used to straighten the car. But back to our cooling system. So we've got it all plumbed in nice and neat. We've also now filled up with Valvoline coolant to the recommended split. And now we're going to go back to the past. Nice quick one today, guys. We've got everything plumbed in. Massive thank you to Hypertune, as always, for all their support and help for the radiator and the cooling system and most of the fabrication on this car. Thanks to RC Fab for the tank. It's worked out really well. Thanks always to Raceworks. Those guys have backed us for a long time. We've been using their plumbing in a lot of cars. We're now slowly migrating a lot of stuff into the CRESTA as well. You guys would have seen us plumb the S13 completely end-to-end with that. Also, thanks to Sparesbox. Don't forget BCW5 on checkout. Thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you next time.